Hello world, Jennifer here. On to a new project to get things ready for colder weather when we spend more time in the machine shop. I've wanted to have a powered table drive for my milling machine for quite a while. It originally had one. The motors and transmissions and things for it though just didn't work out, and the way it was driven with belts, V-belts, wide flat leather belts, chains, all sorts of crazy stuff. It's just not working out to reassemble all that stuff. Plus the one transmission that was going to drive it is going to end up on the power winch DIY, or the DIY power winch. That's going to be part of the transmission to drive that large old anchor winch. So parts are being used for other things. We got to move on to try to get stuff so we can have a power drive for the milling machine table. I just have to figure out some other stuff. Over the years, I've collected up a multitude of things, including this 25-to-1 angle drive. You put 25 turns in here, one turn comes out. I got the converter plate to go from the input drive of the angle gear onto, I forget right now what the motor frame number is exactly, but I've also collected up a half-horse single-phase 3450 RPM motor. It needs cleaning up because it's sat around for about the last 20 years. The windings itself in the motor are in good shape. So is all the electrical gear in it. I just need to clean up the end bells that the grease has turned all hard, chunky, and nasty in, and you can see it's all pretty filthy. With the grease has gotten dried out, so the motor needs a little rebuild. And otherwise, the actual bearings on the motor, the centrifugal switch, they also need cleaning and to be re-greased. That should be pretty simple. I'm hoping to be able to get the bearings on, cleaned, or off the shaft, cleaned up and back on the shaft without damaging them. And the idea is to take a V pulley, have it on the output shaft there of the angle head. I don't know, either way, depending on which way works out, and have a mount on the bottom of the milling machine below where the transmission is to drive the table. Alright, let's take a look at the plans for the mounting of this on the milling machine. Alright, back at the milling machine. We have our other V-pulley here on the input shaft of the table drive, which was on the back of the milling machine. We have a transmission here. The idea is to mount off the back here, down here. I was going to fabricate a bracket, come out, mount that motor and gear head down here and come up. My biggest challenge is that to shift gears on this, it moves. I don't know how well you can see that, but to shift between high and low range, the whole shaft moves in and out. So we'll have to see how that can be handled with the belt coming straight down. I'm thinking it's going to probably be hanging out pretty good, but that's going to be life, and it's going to be real nice to have a powered table. There's a good shot of the transmission and the back on the, hopefully flat enough on the back of the milling machine to mount my bracket and everything from a gear head and motor. How I'm going to get power down there, I haven't exactly figured out yet, but we have a good shot here of how
much. That does move in and out when that. And then, of course, we have this that goes up and down with different gear ratios. We have a slide up here that slides back and forth. We have a nice brass plate that says what our gear ratios are. We have a transmission that goes to table, and that has a lever on the front of it that I can't remember what it does. I'm hoping it's a reverser, because driving the table, I think that's X. In and out there, I think that's X. Y, I think, is left and right of the machine, but I don't have the table to go left and right. I have a lever to drive it either way. But yes, there's the nameplate of the old gal in all its glory. And I'm hoping this winter to be able to redo the whole table and everything, because it's getting kind of, its bronze bushings are worn out, getting kind of sloppy. You can see that they're in pretty tough shape. So hopefully this winter I'll get a lot of that rebuilt, stuff like that. All right, that's a good milling machine tour. And there's a new shelving unit I built to house all my machine shop stuff, instead of trying to have a table just out completely jammed full of all the machinery and things, and a good shot of the lathe as a bonus. Alright, that's an introduction to the milling machine, some machine shop stuff that I'm working on. Please like, subscribe, share with your friends, leave a comment if you got something nice to say. Hope you enjoyed watching. See you on the next one.